Welcome to the Full-Time FBA Show. In each episode, it's our goal to help you turn part-time hours into a full-time income selling almost anything on Amazon. And now, your hosts of the show, Stephen and Rebecca Smotherman.
Hello there and welcome to episode number 298 of the Full-Time FBA Show. Today we are talking about outsourcing your sourcing like a pro. We're going to be looking at the smarter way to work with a VA virtual assistant for your Amazon sourcing. And here to talk with me about this is the sourcing pro like no other, Stephen Smotherman.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Oh, you're usually the one that's saying something sweet about me, so I thought I'd mix it up this time.
Yeah, you totally caught me off guard because I don't know what to say.
Okay, well, let's just get into the topic for today then.
Which I do know what to talk about.
You do?
Yes. Let's get into it.
We just so happen to be talking about two of my favorite topics today, OA sourcing combined with outsourcing. OA sourcing, outsourcing. Okay, so before we get into that, I want to ask you to be sure and leave a review for the Full-Time FBA Show on your favorite podcast player. This is the best way for other sellers to find us and to get the help they need to make a full-time income using only part-time hours selling via Amazon FBA. So please take just a moment of your time to leave us a review, and we would be super grateful.
In fact, if you want to leave us a review on your least favorite podcast player, that's fine too.
That's fine too.
Yeah.
Okay, Stephen, our title today is Outsource Like a Pro. We love talking about outsourcing on our podcast, and we talk about it constantly with our coaching clients. It's truly the best way you can scale your FBA business. To just stop trying to be a one-woman show or a one-man show and hire the help you need so that you can get those targeted tasks done and free up your time for more profitable work. So just to narrow it down a bit more, we're not talking about outsourcing in general today, but we're outsourcing when it comes to your sourcing, outsourcing your FBA sourcing.
Yeah, that's right. And one of the quickest ways to get bogged down in your Amazon business is to overwhelm yourself with the task of sourcing. Now, don't get me wrong. Making time for sourcing is of the utmost importance in your business, and prioritizing your sourcing time is a surefire way to ramp up your inventory and, by extension, your profits. But it could be very overwhelming very quickly if you just let it get that way. And so you can find yourself swimming in ASINs and spreadsheets and staring down endless aisles of shelves, and you can start to feel like, okay, this is too much. I'm never going to find anything in all this stuff. And it's just like looking for a needle in a haystack sometimes.
Yeah, and just last week, one of our coaching students literally said, I don't have time to source. And he didn't say it in a dismissive way, but just realistically, he knows that sourcing can be very time consuming. He has a busy life and he wants to make the best sourcing decisions possible. So he has chosen to streamline his sourcing time. And by the end of this episode, you're going to know the easiest, safest, most profitable way we've shown him to embrace the fact that he doesn't have time to source. And spoiler alert, it's by working with a trained sourcing VA. But we're going to tell you how to do it without spending months on training someone or by throwing money down the drain by hiring the wrong person, because been there, done that.
Yep. So like Rebecca said at the top of the show, there are some substantial limits on growing your Amazon business if you are trying to do it as a one-person show. And we totally get that. When you're first starting off selling on Amazon, you may think the best way to make more profits is to limit your expenses and not hire someone to help if at all possible. And I get it. But the honest truth is this. If you try to continue indefinitely as a one-person operation, you will never be able to source enough inventory to truly scale to a full-time income. You're going to run into the wall over and over and over again when it comes to your time and your efforts at sourcing. Amazon sellers who want to make a full-time income, 99 times out of 100 have some sort of team working with them. They're not doing it by themselves. They have some sort of help with their business in some aspect of their business, whether it's sourcing or doing the back-end seller central tasks or helping with packing and shipping. They just have to have help. And solo sellers doing it all by themselves are going to burn out if they don't find some ways to get some help with the mundane tasks that just take up so much of their time and energy.
Yes, it is absolutely necessary to outsource or have a team if you want to make a full-time income, and even more so if you want to earn a full-time income but only work part-time hours. Also, you can think about it this way. There's an opportunity cost if you aren't outsourcing. An opportunity cost means you're paying something in the form of a lost opportunity. So if you decide that you're going to do it alone and not get help with your sourcing of inventory, you are paying that opportunity cost. Every minute you spend analyzing ASINs or endlessly scanning RA shelves is a minute you're not spending on the highly profitable CEO level tasks that you need to be doing to grow your business. Don't pay that opportunity cost and don't try to go it alone. Look at your sourcing time and see how much time you're spending on the mundane parts of it that don't require higher level decision making. And then decide, is this really the best use of my time as a business owner? Can I have someone else do the mundane, repetitive tasks so that I can be making decisions and working on my overall strategy? I hope when you ask yourself that question, you quickly come to the answer, yes, I need to outsource more when it comes to my sourcing.
And I would say that the number one reason FBA sellers don't hire someone like a virtual assistant, a VA, to come along and help them with their sourcing is that they're afraid. I mean, they've got some serious fears related to hiring someone.
I agree 100%.
Now, that fear may present itself in several different ways. I mean, some sellers are afraid that, they don't have the time to train someone to do their sourcing tasks.
Preach. That was my biggest fear for the longest time that kept me from hiring a VA.
Yeah, and it's weird because that's actually a self-fulfilling prophecy or even a vicious cycle. You don't have the time to train someone because you think you're too busy. But if you would just train someone to do the tasks that you need help with, you would have more time and not be busy.
That is absolutely what happened for me when I hired my first full-time VA. I put it off, but eventually I just bit the bullet and hired her, and it was life-changing. Yes, there was an onboarding period of a few weeks that took a lot of effort to train her, but after that initial time period, she proved to be very self-sufficient, and I didn't have to spend much time with training at that point. I just worked on the results of what she sent me, and I was able to make sourcing decisions on what to buy rather than searching myself.
Yeah, and along those same lines, some sellers have the fear, how do I even know who to train or how to train someone? How do I find someone reliable? And what if I train someone and they quit on me? I mean, those are all valid questions. And they're things that you need to think through when you're hiring a VA, but that shouldn't be fears that hold you back. I mean, countless business owners have hired VAs to help them with their daily business operations, and you can do that too. I mean, there's websites that help connect VAs with employers. In particular, onlinejobs.ph. That's a great site that helps connect workers in the Philippines with businesses that are looking to hire a VA. In fact, we have a team of VAs working for us, and they're all in the Philippines, and we've had a great experience working with them, especially because language is not a barrier, and the timing works really well. I mean, basically, when we're sleeping, they're working on the tasks so that when we start our next day, everything that they've done is finished and ready to go. I mean, it takes some coordination getting used to that at first, but it is a really great system. All that to say, don't let your fear of what's involved hold you back from hiring an overseas VA.
I will add to that, though, that going that traditional route of hiring a VA through a job board can be risky, and we've learned that the hard way, like I said before. You can get job applicants and even do an interview and think that the person you're hiring is well-trained or has good references, but then you find out later things aren't what they seemed. As with anything you do online, you need to make sure you protect yourself and your information and your business from bad actors. You're taking a gamble when you hire someone and you're investing your money and your time in them. You're taking a risk that when someone says they have Amazon experience, they're telling the truth, or at the very least, that they're not exaggerating their experience. Let me tell you a story. We had a frustrating experience last year with someone we hired to help with sourcing. Things went okay for a few weeks, but it started to seem like something was just off. I couldn't quite tell what it was, but it was off. And we were paying for leads on OA inventory, and it was just starting to smell fishy. We were getting questionable leads and just really low quality stuff that didn't match up with the experience level this person had originally told us that he had. So come to find out the hard way, He himself was outsourcing and getting his leads from a subcontractor and then passing them off as his own.
Not cool.
No. I have no idea who had trained that subcontractor or if they had any experience or training at all. I mean, clearly from what we were receiving every day, they didn't know what they were doing. Anyway, needless to say, we fired that VA and the subcontractor that we never hired in the first place, and we just moved on. Things like that happen sometimes. It's a part of doing business when you hire people, whether it's virtual or in person. It's just that when you're working solely with VAs, there's an extra level of question about, is this person really who they say they are?
Yeah, and don't worry, we're not telling you this story to try to scare you into not hiring somebody.
No, not after we're talking about people needing to overcome their fears.
Right.
I'm just saying that I'm telling you this story just to show the reality of what is involved in hiring a VA.
So to bring us back to the title of this episode, we want you to outsource like a pro, and we have a better way for you to outsource your sourcing by hiring your own VA. We have a program called OA Success Leads, where our team of sourcing VAs put together a spreadsheet of 15 plus online arbitrage leads daily that can help you save time and effort in looking for OA inventory. Now, these VAs have years of experience at Amazon sourcing, and we work closely with them to make sure that their leads fit our sourcing criteria. So if you've ever thought to yourself, I wish I could have a VA trained by Stephen and Rebecca that fits their sourcing criteria, then this is the easiest way for you to outsource your sourcing through a VA without having to hire someone yourself through OA Success Leads. And so without having to sort through all the applicants, without having to schedule interviews, without having to train anybody, we take out all of the guesswork and risk of going through the process of finding and hiring your own VA.
So maybe you're ready to hire your own full-time VA. If so, it's going to revolutionize your business. I always say, I wish I had outsourced sooner. I definitely wish I hired my first VA years before I actually did. But if the thought of hiring someone full-time intimidates you, you can still get the benefits of a full-time VA's work by using the OA Success Leads subscription Stephen was telling you about. You go to fulltimefba.com/OA Success and you can check it out and see what all is included in the subscription. You'll get a steady flow of leads each day, and you'll start to have inventory and profits flowing as well. You don't want to miss out on this opportunity to benefit from the work of expert VAs who know exactly what they're doing. You can sign up for either the Lion or the Tiger list at fulltimefba.com/OA Success, or if the lists are full, because we cap them at 20 apiece, if those lists are full, the link will take you to where you can sign up for the wait list. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the Full-Time FBA Show. As a reminder, the links and the show notes for this episode will be found, as always, at fulltimefba.com/298, because this is episode number 298.
And next week on the show, we're going to be talking about more ways a VA can help boost your Amazon business. So join us next week on the Full-Time FBA Show.
That's all for this episode of the Full-Time FBA Show. So head over to fulltimefba.com/podcast, where you'll find the show notes and links from this episode. While you're there, subscribe to our newsletter, where you'll get several free downloads of our popular and helpful Amazon FBA resources. Now, take action on what you've learned today, so you can find success at turning part-time hours into a full-time income with Amazon FBA.